Alright, hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of this 4-part video series on the DASH diet, or the dietary approaches to stop hypertension diet. And just a quick recap from last time. We talked earlier about dietary guidelines to lower blood pressure. And that's essentially what the DASH diet is about. It's a set of rules to kind of like guide how we eat, and it's just going back to the basics and focusing on fruit and vegetables, and most importantly focusing on reducing two things: the intake of sodium and the intake of LDLs, so that's the bad type of cholesterol, as well as saturated fats. We also talked about cutting back in smoking and alcohol, and how that's really essential in the DASH diet as well. I mean, here's one way to think of it. If you do everything else but not this, you will not get the benefits out of this diet as you could have. But conversely, if you only do this and nothing else, you will see a significant decrease in your blood pressure, period. So it's really that important. In fact, I'd say it's probably the most important part of it. I know it's supposed to be a diet, but this is also a vital component in helping us, reach our ultimate goal of, lowering our blood pressure. So, last but not least, okay, we talked about exercise, and it's not an official part of the diet as such, but it's certainly, regular exercise can most definitely lower blood pressure. From all vantage points, it's just a healthy thing to do. And if you can just spend up to 30 minutes, okay, on a daily basis, and perhaps 3 to 4 sessions a week just going out and exercising, it will significantly help you become healthier overall. Okay, part of which constitutes and helps you really lower your blood pressure. So today we want to talk a little bit about the specifics of what the DASH diet includes, okay, in terms of the food categories and servings and examples, serving guidelines, and all that new stuff. So before we begin, I'd kind of like to introduce the two types of DASH diets that there are. First of all, there's the standard DASH diet, and this is where we can typically get 2,300 milligrams of sodium from this diet. Now, if this sounds like a familiar figure to you, that's because this is the recommended level from the dietary guidelines for Americans. So that's what you can do. However, I definitely recommend that you try the low sodium version. That allows us to absorb up to 1,500 milligrams of sodium. And because sodium is a direct factor contributing to blood pressure, we want to reduce our intake in it. Okay, that's another important component of the DASH diet. So, just a quick overview of what the DASH diet is all about. Okay, this is a diet that gives 2,000 calories on a daily basis, and we want to eat the most of greens, whole grains, and low-fat dairy, and we want to have medium servings of fish and poultry. We want to eat less of red meat and fats, and the least of saturated fats and unhealthy oils. So that's kind of like a brief summary of what you can expect out of the DASH diet. Okay, so here goes. Here are the 7 categories of food that the DASH diet is made of. First of all, grains. The typical amount of this category of foods would be 6 to 8 servings per day. And examples of that would include a slice of bread, an ounce of dry cereal, and half a cup of cooked pasta. And I think the caveat of, the tip that we'd recommend you follow would be to look for the whole grain and whole meal labels. Just when you do your groceries, just look for that label and opt for foods. Choose foods that have that label on, because they are the ones which contain the highest nutritional content. Second of all, vegetables. For this category, we want to have an intake of 4 to 5 servings per day. And in case you're wondering what a serving is, for vegetables it'd be a cup. But later on, we've also prepared a document for you, and in it details everything you need to know about servings, because it's a bit dependent on the food category. So I think it's best presented, I guess, in a document, so you can go back to it and refer to it when you're kind of like stuck on servings and all that kind of stuff. So examples would be just your everyday greens. I mean, broccoli, tomatoes, peas, potatoes, cabbages, spinach, carrots, etc. And just an extra tip, that would be to look for the low sodium label for this category of food. Again, grocery shopping, sorry guys, all you do is do your regular groceries, and if you can, just just keep this at the back of your mind, and when you do your shopping, just look for foods, vegetables that have low sodium labels. Third of all will be fruits, and for this category we want 4 to 5 servings per day. The thing to look out for in this category would be to concentrate on low sugar fruits. And so what do I mean by that? Typically, your high sugar fruits would include things like grapes, things like bananas, and also mangoes. But we don't really want that, because sugar content isn't really good for, high sugar content isn't really good for blood pressure either. We want to concentrate on low sugar fruits. So things like coconuts, apples, strawberries, raspberries, papaya. So here it goes again. We want to concentrate on fruits that have low sugar content. Category number 4 would be dairy, and for this category we want 2 to 3 servings per day, and we want things like milk, yogurt, and cheese. And for this category, I guess the thing to look out for would be to concentrate on the skim and the low-fat versions of these foods. And there we go. Low-fat cheese and skim milk. Category number 5 would be poultry, fish, and meat. This category says we should have less than 6 servings per day. Again, at the end of it, we're going to talk about producing a document in the next update of this website that will allow you to reference and just kind of like understand what a serving is. Okay, so don't worry about that. Suggestions would include skinless poultry, because when you cook, for example, chicken skin, okay, this is just from my vantage point, certainly. When you cook chicken, okay, all that fat has nowhere to go, so it gets trapped in the skin. So you kind of like want to choose skinless poultry, and so all the fat when you cook it can escape, okay, into the pan. Second of all, you might want to try out healthier alternatives to frying. For example, like broil, grill, bake, and roast. So that's certainly something to think about. And I guess the final point would be, the objective here is to reduce the meat portions of this diet. So, it's not like as you can see in the amount, we don't have a specific, 5 to 6 amount per day, 5 to 6 servings per day. Sorry, guys. We have less than 6 servings, so it's kind of like we really want to reduce that amount of meat we intake, little by little. And by the way, if you think that meat isn't filling, think again. Meal that's dominated by vegetables can just be as filling as one that's dominated by meat. I really encourage you to try that out and see for yourself. That's the best way to know for sure. Just for a week, okay? Just cut back on meat and increase your vegetables portions, and we'll see how we go from there. Number 6 would be nuts, seeds, and legumes, and the amount we want this here would be 4 to 5 servings per week. Now, I just want to emphasize on that per week serving. The reason being is, while lots of nuts, they have properties in them which help lower blood pressure, which is great, and that's what we want. Lots of nuts are also high in calories content, and as we mentioned in the beginning, the DASH diet is a 2,000 calories per day diet. We don't want to go over that limit, so we want to kind of like to ensure that we don't go over that limit, just to phrase that amount in terms of on a per week basis instead of a per day basis. So that would be this category. For category number 7, we have fats, oils, and sweets. Guys, the caveat here isn't to completely cut out this category of foods. We do need fats, oils, and sweets to keep our bodies functioning normally. But again, we do want to cut down on it. The amount would be, again, it's on a weekly basis, 6 servings per week. So we just kind of want to cut back on these high-fat foods like butter, cheese, whole milk, etc. As for sweets, again, it's kind of like okay to use some replacements like aspartame and all that new stuff. But again, please, 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 it is no replacement for the healthier alternative of that whatever it is you're replacing. Like, for example, Diet Coke is probably better than regular Coke, okay? Although I question the validity of that statement. You know, diet certainly has that element. I mean, as you can see in that on the can in the picture there, sugar-free. Although, strictly speaking, it's not sugar-free. However, it most certainly does not beat water. Okay, so just keep that in mind, I guess. And that's it for today, I guess. So today, just to sum up everything we talked about, we looked at the different components of the diet. Again, it's not very specific yet, and we'll kind of like go into the more specifics, you know, the plan next week. No, the week after, sorry. Next week, we're releasing a document, okay, that includes a summary of everything we talked about, including all the tidbits and the specifics, okay? You might have questions at this point, you know, things like what exactly is a serving, you know, what are my calories needs, and what are my servings needs based on these calories. Everything you might have a question for at this point will be summed up in that document, so I encourage you highly to pay attention to that. And just to check it out. This is directly from the NIH, so it's not just something random I came up with while driving. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. And after that, the week after, I mean, we really got a sense of, you know, what a complete, you know, plan looks like today in terms of, you know, what the DASH diet looks like. But what does finished look like, and how do we, you know, kind of like just plan for it? In the third presentation of this 4-part video series, we're going to produce a complete plan, and we're going to throw in a couple of resources like templates and planning guides, etc. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and please stay tuned for next week's update on the 16th of February. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, for more information, if you have any queries and all that new stuff, please visit our website at www.bloodpressurecure.org. See ya!